All right, in three, two. Welcome back to Toyota Sports Talk. The Paris Summer Olympics just about here. It's going to be a great Olympic Games in Paris, France. And joining us tonight, we've been spotlighting a lot of our local athletes that are representing the United States in the Olympics in a variety of sports. Tonight we have Rudy Winkler. He is actually from Albany, New York area, but he's the assistant throws coach at the University of Maryland, and he is an Olympian 3 times now, a 3-time Olympian in the hammer throw. So track and field athlete, Rudy, congratulations. Appreciate your time.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Making one Olympics, really hard, Rudy. 3, that's incredible. I mean, you got to be proud of yourself.
I mean, yeah, of course. It's funny. It's like the first one I kind of made unexpectedly. So that was just a big whirlwind. It didn't really feel real until I was at the games. Second one felt more like something I had worked towards and felt like it was something that was a big goal of mine. And this time around, it definitely feels a little bit more, not casual. It's still a very big deal. I'm still very proud to have made the team. But my sights are on the games itself and less on qualifying this time around. So that's been an interesting thing, to deal with. Yeah.
So for our viewers that don't know what the hammer throw is, viewers, they're not actually throwing hammers. I obviously know, being a track and field athlete. Can you explain what is the hammer throw, please, Rudy?
Okay, so there's the shot put, right? Most people know the shot put. It's a 16-pound steel ball, and they put it from their neck. The hammer is the same ball, but it's attached to a wire that's about 3 feet long, and it has a triangle handle at the end that you hold with both your hands. You spin that around your head, usually twice, and then you do a series of toe and heel turns. Athletes typically do 3 to 4 turns. 4 is more typical these days. And at the end of it, you hurl it, and it goes, for me, my personal best is 8271 meters, which would be 276 feet, somewhere around there.
So, growing up kind of in the same area, it's usually shot put and discus in the high school level. So how did you fall into the hammer throw?
Yeah, so I did shot put and discus. I actually started track pretty early, a lot earlier than a lot of people normally do. Usually it's high school. And then with the hammer, usually people don't start it until college because that's when it's really more regularly contested, right? But I started track and field with a little club team in my hometown called the April Park Roadrunners. And with them, I did shot put and discus. I also ran like the 2 mile and did high jump and things like that. But I was always a really big kid, so uh, I kind of gravitated towards the throws from the start. And just through, being a big kid, being good at it, getting attention from coaches and things like that, I got introduced to the hammer and loved it. It was a new challenge to kind of wrap my head around. And I got really lucky. I met this guy, Patrick McGrath, who was an Irish Olympian who lived in the greater New York City area. And I kind of started working with him in high school to start getting some private coaching in the hammer. And then it kind of took off from there. I ended up throwing national high school record. I don't hold that anymore. It's held now by another kid, Oregon kid, Trey Knight. And it just kind of became part of who I am. And the hammer was something that definitely was super interesting to me from the start. So it was really easy for me to just stick to it and stay dedicated.
So this is kind of becoming old hat for you. Third Olympics, obviously the first time, so excited. Oh my God, I'm an Olympian. Second time Tokyo, really different. COVID, no friends or family can go. This one, I think Paris is going to be a great host city. How are you going to find that balance of embracing that Olympic spirit, enjoying everything it has to offer, but also the business side of it is you want to try to get a medal because that's missing on your great resume.
Yeah, no, and I mean, you hit the nail on the head. That's really like the last major goal I have in the sport is to get a major medal at Olympics or World Championships. And yeah, it's interesting. In 2016, I obviously had more of a normal Olympic experience, but I was very young, especially in my sport. Throwers tend to be in their late 20s, early 30s. I was in my early 20s, didn't really know anyone on the team, but I didn't get to travel with any of my friends. So it's a very interesting experience. And I don't think I got to appreciate it to its fullest at the time because of that. And then, like you said, 2021 with COVID, family didn't get to go. We were kind of sequestered in the Olympic Village and couldn't really go anywhere or do anything fun that you normally would get to do at the Olympics. So this time around, I'm definitely excited to one, get to have those experiences as an adult with my friends, with my family, who are able to go watch and celebrate with me. But also just every time you qualify for one of these teams, whether it's Worlds or the Olympics, you learn something new, you take something from it, and you build on those experiences, and it kind of helps you out down the line. And I'm just excited to go and be able to just be in the moment at the Olympics, get to appreciate it for what it is, and also use those skills that I've learned to kind of prime myself to compete at my best. Because like you said, there's the fun side of the Olympics, but also there's the business side of it. So get to go do some of the things. I probably won't do the opening ceremonies just because it's a lot of walking and standing. And it's just, with our event is pretty close to the start of the track and field events, just trying to give myself the best chance to feel as ready to go when that comes around. So do some of the other things, but maybe not the opening ceremony, stuff like that, just managing those types of risks and recovery things to make sure I feel good.
First Olympics, probably just so happy to be there.
Mm.
Probably didn't have any expectations. Go there, enjoy it, do what you can do. Tokyo, now Paris. Paris, you're an adult, getting older. Is basically the main objective. I want a medal. That's it. I want to get that medal.
I mean, yes and no. It's a goal of mine. It's something that I think about, and it's definitely one of those things that I would love to be able to check, like one of the last check boxes I have in the sport, right? But I think ultimately it's more about coming away from the competition with a performance that I'm proud of. I think the past couple of Olympics, I've kind of come short to what my expectations were, or what I thought my fitness was at for those games. And I just, whether it's a medal or whether it's the final or whether I can't control what everyone else is going to be doing on that given day, right? So as long as I can walk away and just be proud of the work I put in and the performance that I put out at the meet itself, I'll be happy with that. And if that's a medal, that'd be awesome. But if it's not, that's also fine.
So I'm curious, like in your mind, do you still think you're going to keep competing into LA, which is the next Olympics, or is this your last ride?
That's the big question, right? I mean, I'm kind of in my prime now for our sport. You kind of peak around like 28 to 32-ish. Different for everybody, but it's definitely an old man sport. I definitely still have the energy to keep giving it. Physically, mentally, it gets tougher. There's other things I want to start doing with my life. So I don't know. It really depends. I'm definitely going through this games, of course. Then the next year, there's a world championships in Tokyo. And then after that, I'll kind of reassess and kind of evaluate where I'm at and determine if I want to keep doing it. But definitely a possibility. And I haven't had a chance to really sit down and reflect on it yet. You kind of take things one quad at a time, right? So we'll see. After World Championships next year, I'll hopefully have a more clear answer for that.
Being a Olympian is just such a incredible honor, right? I mean, not a lot of people can call themselves Olympians. And, one of the most special parts probably for you is to represent, your friends and family that are from Albany, New York area, Cornell University, and then now University of Maryland, and also your country. What is that like to be a representative of everybody that's helped to get to where you are today?
Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. It's about the communities and the people who have helped get me to this point more so than the question is always like, how does it feel to represent your country? For me, it's more about representing these communities that have gotten me to where I am. I mean, it starts with the Able Park Roadrunners and the coaches and the parents and all the people that were involved with that in the day that kind of like fostered that beginning of the sport for me. And then thinking about all the coaches through high school and then college, they're all just such distinct periods of my life where people are going well out of their way to help me or try to support me in a lot of different ways. And then looking at my life now and looking at my support system with my coach and my fiance, I really couldn't do it without these people. Especially my fiance, she's been a huge support system for me the past couple of years. and she puts a lot of effort into making sure that I achieve my goals, and that obviously goes a long way. And I hope it's something that I can in turn provide to her someday. But yeah, it feels good. The Olympics is obviously like the pinnacle of track and field and is what every track and field athlete hopes to someday be able to do. So the fact that I've been able to do it 3 times is awesome. And it's a huge honor. But I think it's more about, for me, showing all these communities and the people who have helped me along the way that all the support that they have given me was for something and is was worth it in the end.
Being at Maryland and being an assistant coach and working with these young athletes, how have they made you a better thrower?
That's a great question. I think like one, I think it's really good to just stay in that sort of environment when you're at practice. Everyone's there for the same reason. They love being there. They want to get better. I've gone through periods where I trained by myself, and I think being with the students and providing them with that guidance and with that mentorship has really, it makes me do kind of like my own reflection, but also as a coach and an athlete, there are certain things that I say to athletes when I'm coaching that make me think like, oh, okay, like maybe I should listen to my own advice. And that goes a long way, and that means a lot. But I think mostly for me, it's being in that environment, right? Being with those students, being with the kids that really care about the sport and are like really eager to learn and just absorb everything. I think that's kind of inspiring in a way. And it makes it a lot easier to go out and train and be at practice every day.
I mean, what's that like? I mean, these young athletes at Maryland, they understand the Olympics. They understand what it means to be an Olympian, and to have their assistant coach be a three-time Olympian, that's pretty inspiring, and that's you being a role model. What is that like to kind of have that role?
Yeah, I don't know. It's funny. I just think I'm a normal dude, and I hope that they just think that I'm a normal guy. But that's kind of the idea that I want to convey to them, is like, you don't really have to be doing anything special or have any sort of special talent necessarily. It's really just about being passionate about what you do, being dedicated about what you do. And I hope that the takeaway for them is not that like I'm some freak athlete and they get to train with me. Oh, that's so special. I hope that it's just like, oh, that's Rudy, and that's, he's around, and it's great to be able to have him as a resource, but also like what he's doing isn't any different than what we're doing. So like, why shouldn't that be possible for us too? But um, yeah, I mean, I hope that's what they take away. Whether that is or not, I'm not sure, but it's,
Awesome. Well, great insight, great perspective. Rudy Winkler, third Olympics coming up here in Paris, throwing the hammer throw. We'll be watching and go get that medal.
hey, thank you. Really appreciate it. Thanks for having me on again.
All right, much more to come right here on Toyota Sports Talk. Stay with us.